Good morning. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt again with the American Orthodontic Society, and I want to talk to you a little bit about I just named this appliance, the Mitchell Appliance. I came up with this idea and I named it after Dr. Dave Mitchell, who helped me for quite a few years there and from Atlanta. And I'm going to tell you some things about it. If you're having trouble getting somebody to wear a class 2 elastic, this appliance will greatly help in that. It looks pretty complicated to start with, but you go ahead and try it. First thing, you have to get your teeth in a pretty well aligned condition so that you can insert a rectangular wire in these upper teeth right across here, and that has to definitely fit into the slot of this arch wire up above. Now this wire here can be a 1725 or an 1825 arch wire. 18 would be better, and that fits in those 4 teeth up above, and everything else is in a rectangular wire. Now let me go on to the next picture here. Now you put a spring in this wire right here, and I like to run this on out a little further, and you're going to put a lock on that and put a certain amount of pressure on it. So this pressure will be pushing against this tooth to go back and these teeth to go forward out here. So this, just ignore this. This is uprighting a molar. That doesn't have anything to do with it. So just forget about that part right there. Now, here it is again, just another view of it. And I would take these little lock nuts, and you can buy them and put them on with a wrench. And you put this little lock nut over this rectangular wire, and it really holds that wire in place. It'll make a little indentation in the wire if you screw it in there tight enough, and it will hold that in place. Now you take that, here we've bent the arch wire and we made an arch wire, and you get a little Allen wrench here. Actually, you can buy one in a hardware store, probably a cheaper. This one is quite, they charge quite a bit for it, and it fits into this lock nut and allows you to tighten it or loosen it or whatever you want to do to it. But just go to a hardware store and get you an Allen wrench that fits that little lock nut groove there. And this is the Allen wrench that you can buy. Now there it fits in the lock nut. You unscrew it, and now you've got that little lock nut on their appliance. And you must have a Dontrix gauge to do this. I've still got an old, just one Dontrix gauge will take care of you, and you don't use it too much. But normally this stem right here sticks out, and you have a whole pound of force if you shove that back in up to this point. So here we're putting about 3/4 of a pound or several ounces of force on this spring. Now when you get what you want on it, you take this lock nut and put it on there. Now that, say this is 12 ounces of force right here, and it's 12 ounces pushing this way and 12 ounces pushing back. Now this is the bend out here and curve back to keep, if the person takes the elastics off, if you didn't have this on, it would shoot this wire right out of the mouth out there. Now it looks complicated, but you fit the wire here and then go up above your brackets on this side. See, now let's go on to another slide. And there we are, we're locking the lock nut. You see how it locks over a rectangular wire right there, and it holds. So now we have taken this and put a certain amount of pressure on this right here and lock this nut down. And so it's pushing this back with that amount of pressure and this forward with that amount. And this is the whole arch wire here attached to the front teeth. So if you lock that thing on there, and this is just any kind of wire we've got going through here, but you need really a rectangular wire on the front teeth out there if you want this to work properly. So this would need to be a rectangular wire to fit in those rectangular slots. Now there we are, we're pushing back and gonna put that lock nut on there to a certain amount of pressure. And that, say, has, you can put 10 ounces or whatever you want to on it here. And that, I keep going over and over this. It's going this way and pushing this molar tooth this way. And it does a fantastic job with these teeth as far as class 2 is concerned. If the person, now we're going to come off with elastics from the lower arch and come up here and use about 2 ounces more elastic force than we have force in this spring. So if this were 10 ounces, you roll 12 ounces down on this elastic that you put on the side of it. Now we'll show that a little later here. All right, here this is, just to give you an idea. We're going to shove this back, and when I turn this loose, this would slide this arch wire right out of the mouth if you took it off these teeth. But it's tied to these 4 teeth up here, and if you take the elastics out, this whole force goes against these 4 front teeth up here, and it makes the teeth irritated, and the person puts the elastic back and it stops the irritation. So that kind of makes the person wear the elastic. Now there's a few people that won't wear it anyway, but that pretty well makes the person wear the elastic. Now here that is tied in again. Now we come in and say we've got 10 ounces of force here. We're going to hook this elastic and put 12 ounces of force on it. So you got 2 ounces of force that's actually pushing these teeth back. This counteracts the 10 ounces right here, and this thing works. Now if you're pulling this with class 2 elastics and you don't want these teeth to go out there, you put a lip bumper on this that runs interference for them if they want to bring those teeth forward there. Now there that is again, and there it is hooked up with the elastics, and we'll stretch that out. And this elastic has 2 ounces more force than this does right here. And if this is class 2 and you're pulling forward on this, it's pretty good to put a lip bumper in here because this advances those teeth. There's not a lot of tissue in front of them, so it keeps a vascular bed out and allows those teeth to move forward. Okay, the elastic's on both sides of the teeth, and now that's just opening the mouth, and that increases this force. But it's amazing what that will do now. This is the rectangular wire that's its own, and it goes back and curls back in like that. Now we had a little bitty flimsy wire in here, but this is over the top of the flimsy wire. It's holding the teeth to keep the torque on the teeth as we go back. Now, if you want class 2 to work real good for you, just put a little tiny strip of acrylic on the light acrylic on there. You can take it off after you get through, but there's no interlocking interference as you're trying to push the top piece back, you see, and you've got the teeth locked in like this. They have a trouble, but if you put this acrylic over them, this just slides back, and so you don't ever create a joint problem. We've got a video on that where shoving the teeth back with a deep locking interference, you're shoving the upper teeth back, you'll also shove the bottom teeth back until it finally jumps over the deal, and then it'll go forward for quite a bit. All right, here we are with the whole thing lined up, and this elastic has 2 ounces of force more than the spring. So the teeth have this 2 ounces of force that's pushing back on this, but it's constant, and it just works a miracle on the teeth. I'm sorry, we pushed that back too far. All right, I'm going to close out now, and I thank you for watching. I hope you'll join our group and subscribe for it. But really study this appliance. It will do class 2 cases that you can't get somebody to wear elastic. It just virtually makes them wear it. So I'll sign off here, and thank you for watching. And I'll close this out.